there a dog? Is he alone? Is he at the airport? Is he on a fucking bus? Is he on the plane? Is there a clicking noise? There's probably a clicking noise. Is this a clip show? I don't know if it's a clip show. It's a fucking show. Just listen, goddammit.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy. Podcast, folks. I am alone. And when I'm alone, I do dumb things. Lily was supposed to be here this week. Unfortunately, yesterday was what we were going to record yesterday, which was Tuesday, but she's in the middle of moving, and she wound up in an argument with her landlord. And Lily is, she's complicated. She's not someone who just kind of takes things lying down. And you know what I am? I'm a guy who takes things absolutely lying down. I take everything fucking lying down. That's what I do. Let's put it this way. I don't take minor transgressions laying down. If you cut in front of me in a grocery store line, I'm going to want to punch you in the fucking ribs. But if you do something like raise my rent or ruin my house, then I'm just going to go, fuck, I hate this inside me. But most of the time I'll just be like, yeah, that sucks. Or I'll totally lose perspective and freak out and do something dumb. Which as I've told you about, that's what this show is. There you go. That's 8 years of this show in a fucking nutshell. And if you're new, you'll learn that eventually. Was I will bring a story to you about me doing something dumb, and you'll be like, Jesus Christ, that guy did something dumb. And I'll be like, yes, that's me. That's the show. That's my mama. That's what we'll say. We'll say, that's my mama. I should tell you this really quickly. First of all, here's the dumb thing I did. I sat down to do the show, and Lily's not here. So yesterday was Tuesday. I wanted to record, and I couldn't get her. I even wanted to get her for 2 hours, but I could not. She's in a fight at the oldest building in Hollywood. She's moving. She's relocating from the oldest building in Hollywood and going to an actual house, which is good for her. And she's moving in with a clown and a balloon artist. And I honestly, when I say that sentence, Lily's moving in with a clown and a balloon artist, don't you just want to hear her talk from now on? Honestly, there's nothing you would hear from me that would be any more interesting than a stripper moving in with a clown and a balloon artist. That is the Three's Company of 2015. That is where we're at right now. Fuck Jack and Chrissy and Janet. Fuck Mr. Roper peeking in to see what's happening. Because again, it's Jack and Chrissy and Janet. You know what's happening in that apartment? Jack's pretending to be gay, and Chrissy doesn't have a bra on, and Janet's pretending to be smart. That's what's happening. And then Larry's trying to get them all to go to the Regal Beagle so he can fucking roofie Chrissy and take care of business. And then the whole time Norman Fell, Mr. Roper, is peeking in the window or peeking in the door and thinking about sex, but not with his haggard wife. That's what's going on there. If Mr. Roper looked into a fucking house that had a stripper, a clown, and a balloon artist, you know what? He would get arrested because he would just rape one of them. He wouldn't even be involved in any sort of peeking or pandering or thinking, or he wouldn't make that faraway look in his eye where he thinks about sex. He would just burst in, and whoever was there, closest to him, Mr. Roper would totally rape them. And without even benefit of a roofie. And then after the raping had commenced, Larry would walk in and say, hey, we're all going to the Regal Beagle. Oh my God, pull up your pants. Everybody in this room should pull up their pants. And then the balloon artist would just, that would be the end of the show. The balloon artist would just have a balloon in his hand and he'd let it go. Just like it would shoot into the air. And everybody would be sad. That's my new Three's Company, folks. Thanks. I have Mr. Roper raping everybody. Hey, raping everybody up in here. And then Larry comes in and he's like, let's all go to the Regal Beagle. And a balloon artist just lets it go. That's almost and it'll just say Finn. It'll be in black and white, and it'll say Finn. Mr. Roper raped everybody. He raped a clown, he raped a stripper, and he raped a balloon artist. And the balloon artist let a balloon go and just sailed into the sky. And then we'll see a white dove fly by, and then a screen that just says Finn. That's you know what? Let's pitch that. Let's go ahead and pitch that, folks. I don't think I can get us any meetings, and I don't think I can write the script. I don't think I have a cast in mind, because obviously we can't cast Lily and Eddie and Rob, the balloon guy, as themselves, because honestly, if I do this, it's going to be a porno and everybody's really getting raped. There's going to be actual sex. Not raped, there's going to be actual sex because they're play acting in the show. But there will be actual sex and Mr. Roper will be a kind of a roughhouser. You see what happens when I'm alone? What the fuck happened to this show? Already, we're off the rails. We're talking about Roper rape. I don't want to talk about that. Fuck that. But that's what you get when I'm sitting solo in a boiling fucking apartment. I should tell you that too, man. It is fucking... It's like 92 degrees where I live, and this is my third attempt at recording this show, and I started earlier and recorded, and every time I would listen, it sounded fucking weird to me, and I couldn't imagine what was going on. Well, here's why. It's because I had the overhead ceiling fan going, and I've done that before. And I don't really notice it when I'm talking, but then when I go to edit the show, because as you know, folks, Lily doesn't do a fucking thing anymore. I'm in charge of doing everything. And so when it's wrong, come to me. Do not write Lily for any tech stuff. Do not write Lily for any show stuff. Especially this week, don't write her. unless you want to congratulate her, or if you want to help her move this weekend, like I'm supposed to do. I'm helping her Saturday and or Sunday. I think probably more Sunday than Saturday, because something has just come up for Saturday that I think I'm going to be doing. So right now that's where that is. That's where my weekend is. You guys were sitting there and you're like, fuck, I wonder what Mike's doing this weekend. Well, let me tell you, folks, I've got big plans. I've got nothing to do on Saturday in the daytime except drive people around, strangers. But I'm delivering meat, but meat that's breathing. Travis Barbecue is dead, folks. R-I-fucking-P. Finished. Adios. Done. Last week was the last week. And now I am your full-time Uber representative. I will talk about that a little later. But and also, I should tell you this, man. Hey, Dave, who listens to the show, who wrote me on Facebook, and he's like, dude, I'm thinking about Ubering possibly. Well, that's good. But I didn't even pitch this to you, and I thought about it later. I forget who the fuck suggested it to me, but it's actually a really good idea. Hey, out there. Hey there, America. And Ireland and England and whoever the fuck else is listening at this point. Hey, Australia. Hey, Anthony in Australia. Hey, Sammy I think you're in England now. So, hey, Liam, who wanted to watch me live on the live stream, and I have not heard, this is great. Liam, before Podfest, Liam wrote, and he's like, man, I can't wait to watch you. It's the first time I'm going to see you live. He's in Europe. He might be in Scotland. And so I said, I can't wait to disappoint you. I think I may have talked about this on the show last week. And then the live stream went down. So he did not get to watch me, but obviously he bought it, so he probably could have watched me since, but he has not written me since. And it makes me go, well, fuck, he must have hated it, right? I mean, because otherwise you would contact me from Scotland or fucking Finland or wherever the fuck he was, Norway. I was going to say Norwegia. Fuck. That's pretty terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the stupid thing I did. It's funny that just happened. Let me tell you the stupid thing I did. With nobody here to police me, folks. I was in my house, and it's hot. So I recorded the show 3 times. And I kept hearing this fucking weird hum, and I'm going, man, what the fuck is that? And I'd never heard it while I was recording because, Lily would be laughing, or I guess I kind of tuned it out. But then when I would edit the show and I had to put blocks of it together, because sometimes I'll have to stop talking. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish I could say that I'm a one-take Jake. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not. When I'm with Mex, I am. We'll generally talk all the way through, and then I'll go ahead and build up the fucking puzzle when he sends me the pieces. But here, if Lily's here or I'm here, it's kind of, obviously it's different because the show is being written as it goes along. What the fuck? You don't care. You've been here forever, and and any new people don't want to hear the fucking behind the curtain bullshit. So, as I sit here and I talk, then I edit the show later and I hear there's, sometimes it doesn't match because the ceiling fan, I'll cut it on a whoop when I should have cut it on a whoop. So when it tries to join together, to me, it sounds clearly edited. And I always wonder how you guys hear the show. Like, I wonder if you can hear where the edits are, and I wonder if you can, because there's sometimes, some weeks, like I said, there's 2. Some weeks there's fucking 18, because I just start and I stammer like a dumb fuck. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a sentence and a roper rape happens, and I got to fucking stop and comment on it. And I don't want to kid, again, as you know, I don't like to bring you a roper rape. Certainly not without a telestrator. If I had a video show, folks, if I had a YouTube channel, I would fill it with roper rape. However, an audio show, who wants to hear a roper rape? Although I would tell you what, I once heard a rape. Well, not a rape. Jesus, that sounds awful. I will tell you this. I think I've told you this in previous shows. In the movie Deliverance, spoiler alert, if you don't know what I'm about to say, if you don't know anything about the movie Deliverance, you need to move along for a minute or 2, maybe 2 minutes. But I will also say this. If you don't know about the spoiler alert from Deliverance, the only person on earth you are is Jill. Literally, the beautiful Jill is the only one who does not know this. Everybody else in the world knows this reference. I guarantee it. So in Deliverance, there's a scene where, there's a bunch of dudes and they go out in a canoe. They're just on a boating trip. They're on a boating and banjo excursion. That's all they're doing. That's what they want to do. Boating, banjos, and beer. That's it. That's what those fellas had in mind. Ronnie Cox, Ned Beatty, Burt Reynolds, that other guy. They just wanted to have a boating, beer, and banjos excursion. That's what they were looking to do. And then what happens? Buggery. Yeah, you're goddamn right. Another bee rears its ugly head. Boating, banjos, and beer is accompanied by buggery. So I won't go into full details. However, there is a scene with some buggery. And it's famous for the soundtrack to it, or what you hear occurring during that scene. Well, I did not see, I saw Deliverance on television before I ever saw it uncut. And I just sort of knew the shorthand for what had happened. And I think I saw it when I was 14, maybe. And it was on the Sunday or the late night Saturday night movie on ABC, the local ABC affiliate in Chicago. So I said, well, I'm going to watch it because I've heard so much about it. And I've heard about that famous scene. And I gotta be, even at 14, at 14, you envision a lot of terrible things. And at 14, you can put your mind to a lot of stuff, and you're fascinated by porn, and you're jerking off everywhere. I've jerked off. I jerked off at home. I jerked off on the school bus. I jerked off in a field. I mean, I was that guy, man. My cock was getting to work out all the time when I was 14. So you think you're prepared for any sort of sexual deviancy? You'd think, all right, well, the fuck, but you're still young and impressionable. But at the same time, you think you're an adult because you're fucking making things happen with your cock. It sounds like you should have a theme song. Ding, 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 ding. Like a little 80s montage. You're making things happen with your cock. Somebody called Trey Parker. So I just wasn't prepared because you know what? When I was a kid, and I'm going to use this word, and but I don't mean it, but I'm using it, and if there's a trigger alert or bullshit, I apologize. But when you were a kid and you called somebody a faggot, you didn't know what it meant, really. I mean, you knew what it meant. It meant a gay dude or whatever, or a jerk or whatever, but you didn't mean it in a harmful, mean, terrible way. Although it was the worst thing you'd call somebody if you meant it. That was the thing when I was a kid. Again, I'm 13, 14. If you were like, oh, dude, you're totally a faggot, you'd be like, ah. And then, which of course confirmed that you were a faggot. if you reacted like that, if you were flabbergasted, you threw your hands in the air and went, oh my God. And you got the vapors. Look, if you were a child, if you were my age, if you were 13 and you were in high school, on the school bus, somebody called you a faggot, and you got the vapors and you passed out and fanned yourself, I got news for you. So I didn't know what it meant. And so there would be all these stories about, anal, whatever the fuck, not stories about it, but how am I saying this? Like, you knew what gay dudes did, but you didn't really think about it. And you certainly didn't think about it in the context of a rape. So in Deliverance, when I first saw it, I was waiting for it, and I didn't know, because it had always been played for laughs. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. That scene had always been played as a punchline for me as a youth. I guess that movie came out in 72, so I was 5. And my parents took me to see it a couple of times at the movies, and I guess I didn't really grasp what was going on. That was the only movie I ever went to see in the movies with my family besides Jaws and E.T. and Superman, the movie. My mom took me to see Deliverance with my dad, and my dad was getting fucking loaded. I will say this, though. There is a moment in Deliverance, like, I really wish... There are moments in movies that I've seen where I say to myself, man, I really wish I was in the theater when that occurred. And you know what? They both include arrows. The ones that leap immediately to mind. I never saw The Lost Boys at the theater, the movie The Lost Boys. And you watch it now, and look, I don't know if it holds up. It does for me, because it's kind of atmospheric, and it's got Cry Little Sister in it, and there's that faded, when Jason Patrick fades into Morrison on the wall, and there's cool stuff in it. And Corey Haim is doing his Corey Haim thing, and Feldman's doing that, and they haven't become obnoxious yet, and Corey Haim, of course, is not dead yet. But you buy it. You buy the premise of it, and you dig the movie. I do. I think it's really cool. I think it holds up for me. Now, if it doesn't for you, that's fine. Spoiler alert. It does for me. But in that movie, there's that... spoiler alert again for this. Fuck. For these movies from a million years ago. I only do this because a guy wrote me to tell me that I don't say spoiler alert enough. For Terminator, I did it, and I apologized. Because, again, he's right. So, spoiler alert on Lost Boys. But all you people have seen these fucking movies. And again, if you haven't, you're just the beautiful Jill, who eventually will see these movies when I show them to her. So... Lost Boys, there's a scene where they have all these traps and they set them up for the vampires and stuff. And then there's a vampire who gets shot through the heart with an arrow, and he gets shot into a bunch of recording equipment, like a big fucking speaker. And there's like sparks and an explosion and all this crazy shit. And it's in the middle of a huge fight, and there's loud and there's back and forth. And then it quiets down enough after he explodes and there's sparks and everything. And it quiets down enough. And Corey Feldman says, "Death by stereo." And as I say it to you, it does not sound like a cool line, and it doesn't sound like anything you just, well, so what? That's just 3 words. Who cares? But if you watch it in the context of the film, and me having seen it after the fact and not seeing it at theater, I can imagine people cheering on that line. Because it was a bunch of cool stuff was happening, and it was loud and whiz bang and everything was crazy. And then there's this settling down, it's quiet, and the tension kind of is still lurking, and he just goes, "Death by stereo." And then of course all the action starts back up. But for that moment, it made people just I'm sure people cheered. It was a cathartic thing to hear. I maintain that in Deliverance, the greatest cathartic moment in cinematic history is involved in there. Maybe not for ladies. Now let me go ahead and say this: for ladies, maybe there's other certainly much more cathartic moments. Maybe there's something where someone cries, or there's a handkerchief, or someone bakes a cake. You know I'm kidding. Please say you know I'm kidding. But I mean, there are other scenes like in I spit on your grave when that woman gets all her revenge and all these terrible things. Like, I don't know. Look, I don't know how ladies watch movies, okay? But maybe it's different for you. But I will tell you, for men, there is, in my opinion, no greater cathartic moment in cinematic history than there was in 1972 in Deliverance, when just a harmless trip involving boating, beers, and banjos. That's all they wanted. Is interrupted by buggery. And in the midst of the buggery, before I get into the cathartic thing, let me say this. I had never seen the movie, so the scene was always played for laughs whenever I heard about it. It was like, ha, 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 this thing happens, and Ned Beatty and squeal like a pig. And so you just think of it in this context of shorthand as a joke or a punchline. It's just kind of lurking there, and you always think to yourself, well, that's funny, it had to be funny, and ha, ha, and this guy, he's a jerk, and that happened to him. And then you watch the movie, at least this is what happened to me. I watched it, it was late at night. The movie came out at 10:30 p.m. on a Saturday night. I'll never fucking forget it. I was watching it by myself in my house, my apartment, and it unfolds, and you get the vibe of what's going to happen. And then the hillbilly dudes are just, I mean, like I've never done the research on it to see if they were real hillbilly dudes and they just cast them in the movie. I think because I heard that, but you never know. I don't know. It's all become legend at this point. And so in the scene, you see what's going to happen, and they hold John Voight down, and then he tells Ned Beatty what to do. I don't want, and look, even describing it, it's fucking horrifying. And I'm a guy who just talked about Roper rape, but still, just in the context describing this film, I'm watching it happen, and you're watching it unfold, and you're kind of like, oh, this isn't funny. I can remember 13-year-old me watching it and going, oh my God, this isn't funny at all. And this is 1980, so it's 8 years after it came out. All right. And like I said, it was a shorthand punchline for everybody. Ha ha, squeal like a pig. But then when you watch how it happens, good Christ, for a man, I'm guessing, there is no more horrifying scene in cinema history. And it's happened in other movies. It basically happens in Oz. I watched it a billion times in there, and that's terrible. I told you that the scene with Adebisi and Shibeta, it's fucking terrible. And it's never comfortable. And that's the good thing. It should never be comfortable. You should never be able to watch it. Like, look, I played my Roper rape for laughs. Certainly, we can all go back about 20 minutes ago, and I was like, hey, Roper rape. And I was like, that was funny. It wouldn't really be funny if we had Mr. Roper raping everybody, even if it is a balloon artist and a clown in full makeup. Well, all right, hold on a second. Let me rethink that statement. Perhaps if I had a clown in full makeup getting raped by Mr. Roper, maybe I could spin it in a funny way. I don't have a script yet. I'll have to sit down and write some beats and some punchlines, and we'll see how it works out, folks. So I put the word out to you. I need a clown and I need a Roper. And then sign up, and we'll get you guys on board, and we'll try to make it as funny as we possibly can. But, it's got to be a sad clown, right? He's got to go sad, because the clown's not happy about it. Roper's happy, and then he makes that little Norman Fell face where he smiles into the distance, and then we just shoot. There it is. There's your funny. Roper does the raping. He does the thing where he looks into the distance, and he makes kind of that ha-ha smiley face, and then we see the clown with the sad face. And then balloon artist lets the balloon go. Fin. Done. Right? There we go. We wrapped it up. It's funny, and there's pathos. This is how I like to do my art, folks. I like to bring you artwork that's funny. I like to bring you pieces of life that are filled with pathos and rich with humor. So I think if Mr. Roper rapes a clown, we get a shot of his smiling face, and then a shot of the sad makeup, and then the balloon artist letting the balloon go into the sky, depicting lost innocence, and then just a title card, a placard that says Finn. We are in. We've got all your funny. We've got all your sadness. We've got all you feel for the clown. You hate Roper, but you kind of admire him because he had the gumption to do the thing that he wanted to do. Nobody admires a rapist. Shut the fuck up, idiot. See, when nobody's here, this is the mistake I make. I just get to spiral off the fucking planet and nobody reins me in. So we sit here, we talk about a fucking Roper rape like it's something good. So I'm watching Deliverance unfold, and I see what's going to happen. Now I should tell you, again, it's the cut version. It's chopped up. So when I'm watching it, there is, they don't even show it, okay? But you hear it. You fucking hear it. So you hear, because you know what's happening. That's the word. I think, because I've seen it since, all right? I've watched, because it's a fantastic movie. And I've watched it since, and I had to see the scene uncut to see I wanted to juxtapose them, because the cut scene, and after watching them both, the cut scene to me is almost more horrifying than the actual scene itself. Because in the cut scene, they kind of pull away and they just show the woods, and you hear The hillbilly yelling at him and him having to yell back and do what he's told and make noises and squeal like a pig. And then the hillbilly's going louder, louder, and he's doing it loud. And it's just, and then there's this moment, dude. I don't know how fucking they filmed it. I don't know how Ned Beatty could film it. I don't know how any of them could have been on board with it, because it's the same thing in The Accused. Like, you have no idea how Jodie Foster could have filmed that scene. It's just fucking brutal. There's a scene in Irreversible, which I don't recommend it. I'm going to tell you right now, don't watch Irreversible. It's an interesting cinematic experiment, but it will disturb you to your core, and you will never forget it. There's a rape scene in that, and I don't know how they filmed it. I don't know how Monica Bellucci was able to ever use public transit again. If she did, she's a glamorous superstar, and I hope she's taking limos everywhere. But let's put it this way, I don't know how she could ever shut out a light. I don't know how she could ever be alone somewhere without thinking of it. I don't even know if she went and saw the screening. I have no idea if she could have watched it. And the guy too. I mean, he's an actor, and so he's forced to do something that hopefully is antithetical to who he is as a person. But they make the scene happen, and it is just fucking, because you want to say sad, but it's not sad. You're not sad watching it. You're terrified, and you're horrified, and you're sick. And that's what I felt when I watched Deliverance. Even with the scene where I couldn't see it, they cut away, and I got sick to my stomach, like I wanted to throw up. Just knowing what was going on and hearing it in that way. And I guess that's effective filmmaking. I mean, that's what I hope to bring you with my Roper Rape short. But in Deliverance, watching it unfold and then seeing them cut away and then hearing the noise and hearing him yell at him and the exchanges, it's just like, and then when I saw Irreversible, holy God, dude, this scene is just, I mean, it's terrifying because it's real. It's a total real depiction, because you've seen other movies where shit like that happens and you're just like, I don't know if that was, because I mean, I'll give you an example. I saw a movie called The General's Daughter with Travolta, and I've talked about that on here because a kid stole a soda. Whatever, who cares? Go buy your two. But in there's a rape scene, and it's like, I think a chick gets raped by like 6 dudes. But it's done in this weird filming where they kind of cut it weird, and you don't really feel anything because it's done in such a way. They're cutting and they're moving, they're looking, because they don't want to show too much. You get the implication of what's happening, and certainly you feel her dread and you know what's going on. So you feel for her as a character, but you don't really buy into it. It's just sort of happening. But dude, in Irreversible, this scene, I think this scene is fucking 6 minutes long, and it's just 2 people. You see it unfolding and you see it happening. And by the way, I fully recognize that you have either turned this show off never to listen again, or you've turned the show off to go watch that scene. It all depends on who you are as a person. But I will tell you, you should not watch it because it will stay with you. I have so many things that I've seen, like I said, terrible things that you've seen on the internet or in movies, and you just go, why the fuck did I do that? I shouldn't have committed to that. I should have just been a person, right? There's so many other artworks out there that are uplifting. There are so many shows. You know what? There's a plenty of shorts out there with a clown and a balloon artist where nobody gets raped. Why don't we do that? Wouldn't that be great? Bring the children on board. They could check that out. Everybody's happy. And there's, we spare the world, or, Mr. Roper making a balloon knot joke. We do that. Why not? But instead, look at me. I throw a little adult shenanigans into a children's short, and I change the game. I flip it on its face. And I make it sad, and I make it happy, and I make it smiley, and I fill it with pathos, but yet I fill it with humor, and I fill us all with dread that I'm going to actually make this someday, right? Aren't you worried about it? Don't you think to yourself, well, he could fucking do that. If anybody's going to do it, that idiot's going to do it. I happened again. I'll explain that in a second. So I watched Deliverance uncut in my house, my apartment at fucking 13, and the sound made me sick to my stomach. Like, I actually felt like I wanted to throw up, and it had a physical effect on me. But I will tell you this, and I'm sure that's how it felt for all audiences as they watched it in a movie theater. And like I said, for men, I can't imagine a more uncomfortable cinematic 5 minutes than that scene. And granted, that's also me not having seen a bunch of other movies about rape or murder or, torture. I've seen some bad shit, but I mean, just for that stays with me also because it's so fucking well done. But it also stays with me for this reason, not only because it's famous and because I've seen it a few times, but also for this. Because I feel, just as that scene, and again, spoiler alert, while that is taking place, they've got Jon Voight and Ned Beatty, and they're holding them and they're doing things to them, and it's terrible. And they're about to do terrible things to Jon Voight. And look, I like Jon Voight. I think he's a fucking badass. I'm a huge fan. Granted, he's another one who went a little bananas right now, Gary Busey style, and he's all conservative, and he fights with Angelina, and she's adopting every baby in the world to show him what a bad dad he was. Whatever the fuck. That's their deal. Whatever they've got going on in the Voight Jolie Pitt extravaganza, go ahead. What's going on under that fucking circus big top, I can't concern myself with. All I can concern myself with is Jon Voight as an actor. And, you want to hear about Jon Voight as an actor? Let's talk about Jon Voight like in Heat. He's kind of this mystery guy who helps De Niro out and gets him all sorts of stuff. He can make anything happen. And then, I think I told the story on here once before. Did I even put the picture up? I might have. I fucking was walking at Hollywood and Highland. And it was when I was recording by Lily's. And I was going to my car. And if you've ever been to Hollywood and Highland, that's where they have the Oscars, and then they've got, everybody out there selling candy apples for $47 because they have a Hollywood star on them. You know what I mean? That sort of thing where they just fucking trick everybody. That's where all the superheroes are standing outside trying to get Polaroids with you. Well, I was descending into the bowels of their parking garage. I think I was parked on like X11. It's one of those where it just goes in. You as you get down to R, you have to wave at Satan and then go down a few more levels to get to your fucking car. That's how deep into the bowels of the earth you are. You go all the way down. Here's how deep I parked at Hollywood and Highland. I parked, and when I went back to get my car, I actually had to take a rickshaw to get there. That's how fucking deep I had gone through. I went all the way through to fucking China, had to take a rickshaw to my goddamn car. And yes, I felt like I needed to explain the bit there. I shouldn't have. I should not have. I should have let the rickshaw just carry it. But instead in my head, I went, well, nobody realizes because, used to be able to dig to China. That was what you always used to say when you would dig a big hole. You'd be like, oh, I dig all the way to China. Why am I explaining a fucking joke? You know why? Because I'm alone. If I had somebody here to fucking rein me in, none of this dumb shit would have happened. I would have spared all you guys my thoughts on rape, or movie rape, or deliverance, or any of it. Or I would have spared you this entire goddamn thing. I would have just put out a fucking block of silence. So when I was at Hollywood and Highland, I was descending into the bowels of the parking garage, and I saw a dude, and it looked just like Jon Voight's character from Heat. Just this dressed in kind of a tan blazer and a dark shirt, and he had that long hair and a wispy mustache. It really looked like him. And so I actually took a photo of the dude. Like I followed him down even more levels past my car just to try to get a snapshot of him. And I got one. And the best part of it is I took a picture with my phone because I didn't want to tell him, hey, can I take a picture of you? Because that wouldn't have been the same. So the picture I got is fucking amazing. He's turning a corner. So you can just kind of see him in like a third to a quarter profile. And you see what he's wearing and you see the hair. And he looks like, that Bigfoot film where Bigfoot kind of staggers away and then looks back at the camera and then staggers away? Like the SCTV sketch where Gino Vanelli looks back at the camera and he staggers away and then Gino Vanelli looks back. That's what he's doing. He's kind of staggering and he kind of looks back at me and I catch the picture. And then he kind of ducks his head and I go to take another picture of him and he gets away. But so it looks so brilliant because the photo I have of him, it basically looks like he's running away from me, which he was not. But even though he doesn't think he was, but he was. He clearly was because he was trying to get to his car and he doesn't know that somebody's chasing him. He had no idea what the fuck I was doing. All I know is I'm kind of hot on his heels. And as he turns the corner to get on another escalator, I snap 2 photos of him. And the picture is just this weird incidental shot of him turning the corner. And so it's even better than I could have imagined. And I actually sent it to Max. I'm like, dude, how does Jon Voight from Heat wind up? Think about it or whatever the fuck. And it was a good call. I mean, I'm proud of myself. But Jon Voight is, it's such a shame when these guys go fucking crazy. And I understand they go crazy because does it invalidate their work? Let's talk about that. When you see a guy like Busey, Busey's fucking crazy as fuck. But, he also made the Buddy Holly story and he's fucking amazing in it. So does that invalidate his work on that because he's turned into a fucking goofball? Why? I guess not, because didn't he fucking hit his head on a sandbar? Whatever the fuck happened to him? I think it wasn't, if I remember correctly, Busey was at a carnival and he tripped and his head landed on that machine where you have to hit it hard to have the bell ring, and somebody hit him with a sledgehammer on accident. I think that's what happened, right? It was either that or he had a motorcycle accident without a helmet. I don't know what the fuck happened. All I know is the only thing that didn't get injured was his teeth, because you see him, in the old days and now, and he's still got that big ass picket fence. Like, how the fuck did those get knocked out in a fucking car accident or whatever the fuck he was in where he rubbed his head out? But Busey's fucking bananas. Voight is bananas. But dude, you go watch Coming Home, and I defy you to even say any bad things about Jon Voight. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I mean, yeah, he was a bad dad, but he made Coming Home. Dude, fucking Coming Home with him and Bruce Stern and Jane Fonda, and the end. Oh my God, the end. And I've talked about it on here, and it uses a song. Tim Buckley, and it's just so fucking great. But yeah, that's a fucking amazing movie. And again, I don't want to spoiler alert on that one too. Who cares? Because I was going to give away the ending. I literally was just about to give away the ending of Coming Home. I'm telling you to watch it. It's a 2.5 hour, because it's a 70s movie, man. Just like Deliverance, it's a 70s movie. So there's a fucking story, and it's 2.5 hours, and you care about every minute. You're invested in it. And that's one of the reasons I love fucking Tarantino. People always ask me, oh my God, why him? And it's because the language, and he cares, and it's 2.5 hours of awesome filmmaking. You know it's going to be exciting. Why wouldn't you like something exciting? Why wouldn't you like something different, yet still has a nod to the great, in my opinion? And everybody's like, oh, well, he stole a bunch of shit. I wouldn't know about any of that. But I will tell you this. If I watch Hateful Eight this Christmas, and there's a scene where Mr. Roper rapes a clown and a balloon artist lets a balloon go into the ether, I'm going to be very disappointed in QT. I got to tell you that right now. And yes, I just called him QT just to be a jerk. I would never call him that, because in my head I was going to go, what should I call him, Quentin? Nah, go with QT. Because like Lily would call him QT when she was talking about the show when they were putting it on. And I'm just like, I in my head I would just be like, stop calling him QT. Please stop calling him QT. But I understand she didn't want to keep saying Tarantino, and she didn't want to call him Quentin. So as a shorthand, she'd be like, yeah, well, QT, and then his QT's people, and QT. And I'm just like, stop. Oh my God, stop saying QT. So in Deliverance, spoiler alert, like I said, there is this, what I feel is the most cathartic moment in cinematic history, as the raping is winding down, as the candle is starting to snuff itself out a little bit, and the drinks have been consumed, and the party's over, and everybody's pulling their pants up, and they turn their attention to Jon Voight to do terrible things to him. There's this amazing camera shot where they show Jon Voight, and he's about to have terrible things happen, and Ned Beatty is just out of it. Ned Beatty's gone. He's laying there. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. He doesn't know what the fuck just happened, and the fucking there's a camera shot. I can't describe it. You have to see it. But there's Burt Reynolds shows up. He sees what's happening, and he pulls a crossbow. He's got not a crossbow, a regular bow and arrow. And he puts his hands up and he pulls back the arrow, and you see just that shot of him that he's come to save them. And you see Jon Voight make this face. He can't say anything because he doesn't want to tip them that he's there, but there has never been a more urgent look in the history of cinema than there is on Jon Voight's face when he sees that Burt Reynolds is there to save the fucking day. Just this, because he's about to have, he had to because they made him watch his friend have relations. And boy, I'll tell you what, that is probably the wrong word to use. I wouldn't say that. I don't think they had relations. I think that possibly the guy who was doing the raping considered that he and Ned Beatty were related. I think that's kind of his deal. I think he was excited about that possibility, but I don't think they were having relations. Whatever. Fucking Ned Beatty got destroyed by this dude, and he's just laying there. Voight knows it's about to happen to him, and he makes this face where his eyes fucking go wide and his jaw is set, and he looks at fucking Reynolds like, fucking do it, pull it, go, do it, drop these motherfuckers. You can see it in his face, and you see fucking Burt Reynolds just unloads, and then I don't want to give too much away, but holy fuck, I can't imagine every screening that men weren't leaping out of their seats once Reynolds shows up, once Burt shows up and fucking shoots the arrow. Like, they had to go crazy, because you're watching this terrible thing unfold in front of you, and you can put yourself in that situation, and you're sick to your stomach. If you're anything like me, if you're anything like 13-year-old me in an apartment, I can't even imagine you're in a fucking theater with a bunch of people watching that, sharing that horribly uncomfortable moment, and you're all just shifting, and men are just crossing their legs, and they're shifting their seats, and women are like, haha, welcome to our world, motherfucker. We're under constant threat of this bullshit, so now you got to deal with it once. I don't want to hear you fucking moaning about it. So when he shows up and he shoots the arrow, I'm going to go on record and say this. I believe that at the premiere screening of Deliverance, that is when the high five was invented. That's my guess. In 1972, when they had the premiere screening at Mann's Chinese or whatever fucking theater they did, and everybody walked the red carpet, and they're all in fucking tuxedos, and they go in to watch the screening. When that scene happens, everybody's in there, clutching their pearls and in their ball gowns, and can you imagine that? Can you imagine going to the premiere and sitting there? Because if you'd read the book, I guess you knew, and I'm sure Buzz was out, even though there was no internet then. I'm sure somebody went, hey, by the way, there's a rape scene in here. Hey, Ned Beatty gets raped in this movie. Even Ned Beatty was at the red carpet. And he's like, hey, I don't even know why I'm fucking here. I got to be honest with you. For my career, certainly, but I don't want to fucking live through that shit again. But instead, they all sat there and they watched it unfolding in their fucking formal wear and their ball gowns and their fucking tuxedos and their pockets full of weed because it's the 70s. And then when that moment happens, when Reynolds shows up and the arrow is fired and everything is turned around, there's a 180 on the scene. I'm guessing that at that point, Ned Beatty leaped out of his seat, he pointed at Jon Voight, and they invented the high five right there in the screening of Deliverance. That's when it happened. Or the two of them pointed at Burt Reynolds and he put both hands in the air and there was the double high five. Bang! They high fived him. They all sat down and watched the rest of the goddamn movie. That's my guess. I'm going to posit that to you right now. I'm going to tell you that the high five was invented at the screening for Deliverance. Once Burt Reynolds shot the arrow, fucking Beatty and Voight leap to their feet, point at him. He jumps up, boom, double high five, sit back down. Comport yourselves in a fucking professional manner, fellas. It was fake. It's a fake rape scene. Not like others we've seen. Now, I will tell you this, coincidentally, at the screening for Irreversible, no high fives, like none. Seriously, no, because there is no cathartic moment. There is a Christ, I would have to spoil it. There's another disturbing scene in Irreversible that where you just go, holy God, and I don't know how they filmed it because it's camera tricks and weirdness, but it is rough. See, this is what happens when I'm alone, man. I just sit here and I talk about movies. Is that what we want? Do we want me to just go ahead and spiral off and tell you about what the fuck I saw at the movies? I haven't even talked about life. I haven't even told you about the stupid thing I did. I haven't even talked about how hot it is. I'll talk about that. It's fucking 92 here. And like I said, I tried 3 times to launch this fucking show and I kept hearing the fucking fan in the microphone. Even in my earbuds here, I would hear it. I normally never hear it until I do the editing. So I was like, 3 times I attempted it and finally I just went, you know what, fuck this, dude. You got to turn it off. So I had to start over all these different times and I went ahead and turned off the fan. And I turned off I had to close the front door and I closed all the windows because my neighbors are fucking here and I want them hearing me talk about rape. How fucking weird would that be? Mike, what's going on in there? Are you okay? And actually the weird thing is my landlord, Mr. Roper, he would know exactly what the fuck I was talking about. He would just poke his face into the fucking window. I'd see him and he'd just make that smile. He'd just be like, a little far away smile. But unfortunately for him, no balloon artist, no clown in my house to rape. Sorry, Roper. Got to do your Roper rape elsewhere. There's fucking 20 other apartments here. You can avoid mine. You're not taking me out. I got a show to do. Unless you sneak in when I'm sleeping. Oh, that's a terrible thought. I think I would fight off anybody who tried to sneak in and rape me in the middle of the night. I'm glad I shared that with you guys. You know, I know you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if Mike would be able to fight off a rape attack if anybody snuck into his apartment in the middle of the night. Yeah, I think I would. I absolutely think that I would. Now that as a guy, because I mean, I know who I am, and I'm always frosty for it. I'm always waiting for the rape attack to arrive. I don't know why I call it a rape attack. A rape is a rape, right? A rape. I don't know what would a rape attack be. A rape attack sounds like a battalion of rapists. Oh my God. Well, you know, I think, all right, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound terrible. And again, it's because I'm alone and I apologize. I've done this before, right? I just wound up talking about rape for like an hour. And I don't know if it's just because the word is funny to me, even though I know it's not, but it's just the actual language, the English language sounding word rape is funny, even though we know it's not. We know in reality, obviously it's a terrible, terrible thing. The act itself is terrible, but the word, you know, it doesn't have a hard K sound, but it's a good comedy word. Rape is a good comedy word. Oh, there's the name of the show. Yay. No, it isn't, because I want people to download this and then I want them to stumble into this halfway through the fucking show and go, he said that. Did he say that? He really did say that. So I'm here, like I said, in my apartment. I got the fan turned off. I've got the windows closed. And dudes, you may not be able to hear a fan, but I'm going to say this. I am sweating like a motherfucker. Like if you hear anything, you hear drips, because you hear drips coming off of my forehead and landing on the microphone. I'm not even kidding. The microphone stand, because I have a, you know, it's a microphone in a fucking stand, and not a big one. I'm not standing up. What if I was doing that? What if I had a fucking, I got a big microphone stand with a base. I stand up, I do the show just like I do on stage. No, I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm wearing, and you don't care what I'm wearing, fuck. But I would say I'm not wearing pants. I'm wearing fucking boxer briefs because it's so hot. But here's the problem. I'm sitting in my leather office chair, and I keep slipping. Like I'm sweating like a motherfucker. My thighs are just fucking sweating all over the leather. So take that and run with it. I don't even know why. You know, let's put it this way. In my present condition, sweaty and hot and probably a little sticky, I'm not worried about anybody sneaking in here because I am unrapeable. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Right now, as a guy, even if a rape attack happens, like I said, a battalion of rapists parachutes in like Red Dawn, and I see them landing in my courtyard and they burst into my apartment, they're going to look at me and go, you know what? We're going to start at 1 and work our way around. And I'm going to go, great. I'm going to take a shower, and by the time you get back, maybe I'll be presentable. And we'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes from there. Maybe you guys are exhausted from attacking the other apartments. Maybe you will be sated in your rape lust, your rape rampage. Oh, fuck. Shut up, dude. God, I don't, like, I can't imagine if Lily was here, she would laugh, but then she'd be just like, dude, what are you doing? And I'd go, I guess I don't know. This is what happens when I'm left to my own devices. And that's where my head spins off into, I suppose, I guess, I wonder. That should be the name of the show. I suppose, I guess, I wonder. You know what I'm going to do right now? Listen to this, folks. That's right. I suppose, I guess, I wonder. I'm writing it down. Now, if that winds up not being the name of the show, see, and I will tell you, I had to stop and write it down. First, I wrote down the time code, and I'm like, well, I'm never going to remember that. So then I actually jotted it down, and I don't know why. Well, because I need to name the show. And what am I going to do? Listen back? Please. I'm already offended by talking about the rape. I don't want to listen to it back to me. So I'm hot and sweaty right now, but we're bringing you a show. I don't know if I want a fucking prize for that, but I'm just telling you. You're lucky. You're fucking lucky, folks. But before the show, I was sitting here. Like I said, I tried 3 different times to record. And I'm drinking a ton of water because I'm trying to stay hydrated and I'm sweating and it's hot. So before I recorded, I was like, man, I want to eat something salty. And I've been putting off the recording because I tried 3 different times. And then in my head, I'm like, well, I'll just fucking throw up an older show. And I'm like, well, don't fucking do that. Just open the mic up and just fucking talk. But then we all see what the fuck happens, right? I open the fucking mic up and I talk, and all of a sudden you got to think of Norman Fell's cock. Nobody wants that. Jesus, I'm trying to be a normal guy here. I should have just turned it up and said, hey, yeah, here's an old show. But you know what's funny? The odds, I would say it's 11% that any old show I put up would have a mention of Norman Fell's cock. Honestly, that's kind of what I've based my career around. I want to talk about Norman Fell's cock as much as I possibly can. I'm sorry. I'm actually wiping my forehead. Hold on. Jesus. So as I sit here and sweat, I wanted something salty. I'm like, I got to eat something salty. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Mike, just lick your arm. Well, certainly that would have worked because I am covered with brine at this point because I'm just fucking sweating like a motherfucker. But I looked at my cabinet and I'm like, oh, well, there's, I don't have, my house is devoid of stuff. Like I ate trail mix. Remember I ate trail mix a couple of weeks ago? I had that. Well, that bag is gone. So I looked up in my cabinet and I have 2 boxes of Triscuits. And one of them is is a roasted garlic, and one of them is a cracked salt. What is it? Sea salt and cracked pepper that I wanted to have. So I'm like, all right, I'll fucking have that because there's salt right in the title. Or roasted garlic. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen there? But cracked pepper and sea salt. Well, fuck yeah, there's salt right in the goddamn name, right in the caption. So I grab the box, I open it up, and I sit down here. I'm ready to talk. I set up the Audacity. And just before I start talking to you guys, I grab a handful of Triscuits. Now, because I don't eat just one, folks. Again, you can't eat just one. Or wait, what is that? That's Ruffles. But for me, it's Triscuits. Fuck Ruffles. Although I just saw a thing today for new Ruffles. Because I like weird chips. You know how I do that? Where I'll try to buy like fucking... Because I bought those Euro chips. Did you guys have those? The Lay's fucking contest? And people posted funny stuff on the Joker's page where they're like... Couch made me laugh, I have to admit. Couch was the funniest one. People make fake Lay's flavors. And my favorite was Couch. That was pretty good. But they had the Euro chips and Reuben flavored chips, and you got to vote on a winner. And then they had the biscuits and gravy chips and truffle fries. And the truffle fries is fucking awful. It just tastes like dirt, which truffles kind of do anyway to a certain extent. But I didn't think it really tasted like truffle fries because I've had like I'll have sushi that has truffle oil on it sometimes, and it's prominent, but on a chip it didn't fucking maintain any sort of flavor. And again, truffles have I'm going to say this and I apologize, an unctuousness, like they have that to them, but the truffle chips did not. But the Reuben chips tasted like a Reuben, and I ate a few of them and I went, yeah, this tastes like a Reuben, and then I wanted to throw the bag away because who the fuck cares? I don't like Reubens. But I wanted to just kind of taste, and I like pickling spice and I like corned beef. I just don't care for sauerkraut, but it totally tasted like a Reuben smells. So I was like, because I don't eat many Reubens. But I will tell you this, the Euro chips and the biscuit and gravy chips, coming from a fat guy, dead heat for me. They were both fucking great. And it's so funny, you can just boil them down to their essential flavors. Like I said, the Reuben, You taste it and you're like, oh yeah, well, it's because it's got pickling spice on it that they use in corned beef, like on the outside of corned beef. And the biscuits and gravy, well, it tastes like fennel. You know what I mean? Because it's got that's what's in the gravy. It's this really strong kind of sausage flavor, and that's what's in sausage. So it's, you can boil it down and see how they made the fucking chips. And I hate to be that guy. All of a sudden I'm analyzing chips like an idiot. But I guess that's better than analyzing rape, right? I'll tell you what, if Lay's puts out a rape flavored chip, we're going to have a show. Oh my God, will we have a show? I'll analyze the fuck out of that. I talked about that before. Didn't I have rape candy? I don't even remember. And then somebody sent it to me, they made a mock version of it. Because what was it? This tastes like rape. Oh, dude, stop with the rape. But the Euro chips, those are different, man, because they tasted like all of a Euro. That's why I voted for them, folks. I know you care. The biscuits and gravy chip was good, and I think they should still make them. But the Euro chip tasted like cucumber tzatziki sauce. It tasted like Euro lamb meat, and it tasted like tomatoes, which is the weirdest thing. But if you bit it, it totally tasted like Euros. The first bite does not, but if you eat 3 chips, it tastes like you're eating Euros. That's what the show has come to, folks. I'm here rating potato chips for you. That's who I am as a guy. But I ate a Triscuit before I got on. Not a Triscuit, a handful of fucking Triscuits. Like I was sitting here and I was and then I couldn't get the microphone to work the 4th show. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but the first 3 shows, everything was fine. So then the 4th show, I started it and it wasn't recognizing my microphone. So it was trying to use the input for the computer. You don't fucking care. But the bottom line is I kept scrambling with it. And as I was doing it, I kept eating Triscuits and eating Triscuits and eating Triscuits while I was trying to fuck with it. And then finally, when it was time to start the show, I had been sated for salt. But, salt is one component of a Triscuit, but the rest of it is all fucking Triscuit, which is just that weird crisscrossed wheat or whatever the fuck it is. And as I've said on here before, dude, if you eat too many Triscuits, it's like you just ate a pencil box. I mean, it's fucking crazy. So I started to talk, and I kept coughing, and it would be in my throat and kind of in my teeth, even though I'd rinsed my mouth out and used a fucking toothpick, but it just kept arriving. There was residual Triscuit that was fucking with my broadcast, and I had to just stop, and it was just nightmarish, and I kept starting over. And so now when I breathe in, that's why when I've coughed a couple of times, a random piece of Triscuit has fallen out of my tooth or whatever and gone into my throat, and it bangs in there when I fucking inhale. And it's like, God damn it, why the fuck did that just happen? So I'm trying to fight that off as I talk, and I'm breathing, and there's Triscuit, and it's hitting me in the throat. Dude, you don't want your uvula stabbed by a Triscuit shard. Nobody wants that. Or do they? Maybe somebody out there does. Maybe somebody out there is just praying for it. Oh my God, you know what? You know what I've wanted my entire fucking life, and I've dedicated my life to cracker consumption, hoping that this would happen. I desperately have to have Triscuit shard pierce my uvula. That's what I want. Maybe that's what their whole life has been. Maybe they saw their uvula in the back of their throat and they realized, you know what? I should just have target practice with this motherfucker. It's just hanging there. Boom. I'm going to go ahead and bite some Triscuits and inhale and hope it fucking pierces them like goddamn quills, like a goddamn arrow attack. You know what it is? Holy shit. You know what I want to do right now? I want to just chew up some Triscuits and hand them to Burt Reynolds, open my mouth and have him crouch out of the fucking woods and shoot them into my fucking mouth and bad my uvula. That's what I want. I want Burt Reynolds to fucking shoot Triscuit shards into my uvula, and I will stand up and I will high five Ned Beatty and John Voight and sit the fuck down in my tuxedo. My sweaty tuxedo. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can be my friend if you want to be friends with a guy who just talked about rape for 45 minutes. You can be my friend who tried to make it funny. Well, not real rape. I didn't try to make real rape funny, but I tried to, movie rape. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Shut up. Now I'm talking you out of being my friend. I haven't even told you where to be my friend yet, and I'm talking you out of being my friend. You can be my friend at facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can follow me at twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. Our friend Lily Von Stupp, who's not here right now, she's on a truck. She's literally right now, she's wrapping a calliope in bubble wrap to put it on the back of a truck and bring to a fucking house. You can find her at several different Twitter accounts. Before I even get into her, we'll talk about her in just a second. I had calliope on the brain. Let's talk about our friend David Hernandez. David Max Hernandez. He is the artwork genius behind this show. He is the musical genius behind this show, and he does everything he can to make me look great, and I appreciate it. You can be his friend if you want to be his friend at facebook.com/David Max Hernandez. You can go ahead and follow him on Twitter at bullshit. I would never get a Twitter account at twitter.com. You can actually be emailing him. He runs artbydmh.com, artbydmh.com. You can contact him there. Go ahead and check out all the cool stuff that he has. Well, you'll see the artwork he's created, and he can actually create personal things for you if you want to hire him to do so. You can buy his Gycons. You can buy his Valscapes. You can do all that neat stuff at artbydmh.com. That's artbydmh.com. And I think you can find him at David at artbydmh.com. And I actually love that because it makes it sound like there's just a ton of employees there, but he's the David at artbydmh.com. He's just got so much staff. But go ahead and write him, and he can be your friend, and he can do cool stuff for you. And like I said, facebook.com/David Max Hernandez. Our friend Ryan Dirks does all of the cool web stuff for this gig, and I owe him an email, as I say every week. I owe him a text. I owe him something. But you can find him at facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. Let's get back to Lily Von Shtupp, who may have loaded that calliope, and right now she is bubble wrapping a gorilla cage and throwing that in the back as well. You can find Lily you can be your friend if you want to do that at facebook.com/Lily Von Shtupp. You can go ahead and follow her at several different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/Lily Von Shtupp, twitter.com/MNTs, and twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. But if you want to write her a personal note and find out the last movie that she jumped up and high-fived in, that's actually, I might write her a personal note to find that out too and find out exactly which one it could have been. I don't know. I'm guessing, I don't know. She went and saw that fucking striptease show this year, Magic, whatever the fuck. But I'm guessing it was Rocky Horror because she's a Rocky Horror person. I'll bet she jumped up and she high-fived at that. I don't know what part, but I hopefully when she did it, she ducked so she didn't get a fucking roll of toilet paper or a toast in the face. Not a roll of toast, a piece of toast. And that's dude, what if they, I just thought of this. Dude, what if they put Deliverance out now as a midnight movie and people acted that out? Wouldn't that be the thing? Isn't that the way to go? How cathartic would the Burt Reynolds moment be if you actually saw it played out live in front of you? And I gotta be honest, you gotta really hate yourself to cosplay as Ned Beatty for the live Deliverance Rocky Horror Picture Show presentation, don't you? I don't think anybody's gonna be clamoring for that. I'll grab a banjo and a canoe, but the last thing I'm gonna fucking do is drop my pants for some fucking hillbilly with a shotgun every Friday night at midnight. Oh man, no thanks. I already had a childhood. If you guys, you can get her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Oh my God, David, are you still in your studio? Do you really need all of these guitars? This place is a pigsty. I need a drink of water. You know, David, I asked you a dozen times to fix this tub. The kids need to take a bath. David, what are you drawing? Hello? Are you waiting for Mike to call?
Week after week, I turn the other cheek like the ass of a dancing man. Late Wednesday night, I pretend it's alright. Create illustration with no information. And painting's not very much fun anymore. And I can't feel one of Mike's calls coming through. I feel used as a jerk-off sock, flat as a knocked out Brock, mad as that bartender Lou. Hello.
Hey, Max! It's me! Yeah. No, I haven't finished the show yet. But I still need my art. Might tell a story. I'm not sure. I can't give the ending away, though. No, Max, I don't want to say. Oh, could you paint me with big muscles? Or just holding a hot chick? Oh, dude, it's Christ in Da Vinci's Last Supper. Yeah, punching Judas. Punching Judas in the dick. Could you have it done by 10? Could ya? Could you have it done by then? Oh, God damn it!
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It's a fantastic show, an unbelievable show, and it's always populated by the hottest people in the world. That's right. And it could be, maybe the hottest band in the land is there. The hottest band in the world, Kiss. Perhaps they're there. I don't know. Perhaps if you go and you pay enough money, you'll get kissed. I have not been there in a long time. Things may have changed. But you can go to the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. You can find out all about those shows. I know the producer of that show. Her name is Lily Von Stupp. She's fantastic. She's actually going to be at the Las Vegas Burlesque Festival as well. And I believe that's next weekend, not this, is it this week? It might be this week. No, this weekend she's moving. And then next weekend she's at the Las Vegas Burlesque Festival. If you're going to go to it, you can actually get a discount code. Google Las Vegas Burlesque Festival. I'm sure there's a website. I don't know it off the top of my head. Or you can write Lily on Facebook at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp, and she'll be happy to send you the discount code, because I know she sent me one in my email today. She sent it to her entire mailing list, and I happen to be on that because we're friends. So I did receive that code from her, and if you want to have that code, go ahead and contact her via Facebook or Twitter. I'm sure she'll send it to you, and then you guys can go out and check out her show. She has a routine that she's putting together, and she's got her bad knee, so she's trying to figure out what she's going to do. She and I have had extensive discussions about it because, that's what I do. I bother her about her routines because I want to know. I want all the inside dope on burlesque. You know me, folks. I'm a curious fella. And I want to find out about dancing and burlesque and old-time shenanigans. So the first thing I do is dial up my friend Lily Von Stupp. She tells me what's happening. Go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and join the page for all the information about upcoming shows, pictures from past shows, links to performers, and some semi-nudity. All the nudity Facebook will allow. All the nudity that's fit to post or print or post. Print is dead, as we all know. But go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas, join the page, see the pictures, learn about upcoming shows, and all the tickets are available, of course, at brownpapertickets.com. And when you get there, put in Monday Night Teas or put in Lily Von Stupp, and you'll see all of the future shows that are on sale, waiting for you to purchase tickets so she can continue doing that and afford this new palatial estate she just moved into, or she's going to move into at the end of the week. And I'm helping her move, so I'll be there schlepping around a goddamn merry-go-round horse. And you know what's funny? She had a merry-go-round. I don't even know if she has the merry-go-round horse anymore. I think she got rid of it finally. But she literally had a merry-go-round horse in her house for a long time. By year 1 or year 2, I believe I discussed it on there at some point. You people who contact me, let's go ahead and throw this out there. Everybody who contacted me, because I made fun last week of the people from the Burlesque Festival of the Podcast Festival. I made fun of those people not contacting me wanting download sets. Well, guess what? People have contacted me wanting download sets. So I'm telling you, those will be sent out tonight, but you don't care about that because by the time you're hearing this, it'll already be in your fucking mailbox. So I don't know why I'm saying this here, but all the nice people who've written me and said, hey, dude, I would really like that. Well, I'll hook you up. Hopefully you listen. Hopefully you're on board, and hopefully you'll pick up the other download sets eventually. And I'm talking to my good friend Gio. He of the Loveline podcast, I think it is, and also he had his own podcast, which I don't know the name of, so I should have looked it up before I brought it up, but you know how my brain works. Gio has contacted me about some plans, and so there may be some audio stuff I'm doing with him in the future. I just need to do it, instead of going out and fucking Travis Bickling, Ubering all over this town. I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I'll tell you that if you want to go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, You can go ahead there and check out all the cool pages and see all the artwork and stuff like that. And there, I want to make some changes to that, but I got to contact Ryan. Hey, I owe him a text. Did I mention that earlier? But if you go to the Joe Business page, that's the most important page. That's where all the merch is. And I'm wondering, it's fine. I think I talked about this before. Should I do the plugs in the beginning of the show from now on? Because whenever I listened, when I was with the lovely Jill and I was listening to, she listened to Greg Fitzsimmons and stuff like that. Bird did his at the end, which I kind of do. But then Marin and Fitzsimmons, they do all their plugs up top, which was kind of freaky, honestly. But I like doing it here nestled in at the end. And I'm like, I'm sure people skip it. Maybe they do. But there's tons of Facebook profile photos out there that say there are people who listen. Thank you. Again, remember to write that if you hear the song. Whatever. I'd want to give a clue away. It was an Easter egg. As I like talking about Easter eggs in October. It is October 1st now. Well, it's September 30th as I talk. But it's October 1st as you listen. Because I assume you're all early consumers. You're early adapters. You listen the second it fucking comes out. So go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to the Joe Business page. We've got download sets for sale. We've got the T-shirts, shirts for sale. We've got Schmidt Alive 2 for sale. That's the video and audio package. People have asked me about Podfest from this year. I'm going to wait until the live streaming stops because I will tell you this right now. If you go to the Los Angeles Podfest website, lapodfest.com, you can still use my code. I've been informed. You can use the code BOY and buy all of the live streams and check out all the shows, including our show. But use the BOY, that's all lowercase, BOY, and you can buy live streaming for a month and check out my show and all the other shows that were available. Eventually, I'll be putting out my video/audio. I don't know if I'll be putting it out as a package or I have to review it and see if it's worth anything. But it seemed to feel good in the moment, so we'll throw it out there. And maybe I throw it up as a bonus episode. Maybe I sell it. I don't know. You know me. I'm a mercenary, so I may be throwing it out there for a couple of bucks. Who knows? We will see. If you ever wanted to see me bang my head into something, you should definitely watch that show. So go use BOY at lapodfest.com and get all of your downloadable archives and the streams of everybody that was there and check out their shows, including Comedy Film Nerds, which I was at in attendance. You'll actually hear me laugh at it probably. And you'll probably hear me laugh at Never Not Funny too, because I watched that show and laughed my ass off. And I'm going to cough right now. Sorry about that. A Triscuit attack. I had a Reynolds Triscuit attack. Also on the Joe Business page, remember Tweaked Audio is our friend. You can donate to the show, $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, $25 a month, $30 a month, whatever the fuck you want to donate, please. Any one-time amount, it's appreciated. We think it's cool, and thanks. And if you want to use our Amazon link, that's really cool. Click on the Amazon link on the Joe Business page. Click through and get to the Amazon store and buy stuff, and we get credit for that. That's really neat of you to think about us. And every little bit helps because, as I mentioned last week, Travis Barbecue ended. And now I am driving meat that breathes. That's what I'm doing. I am delivering meat that breathes as I Uber all over this town. I don't want to make this show all Uber stories. Yeah, I told some stories at the Podfest. When you see them, if you get the live stream, you'll hear them. And then in the future, I'm sure some stuff will come up. But it's not like I want to brag about it. Fuck, I mean, I'm doing it. And the thing is, that's what my life is kind of consumed by right now because that's my full-time gig, dude. I went last night, and I will tell you this because I'm learning now. I'm trying to adapt to hours and how to go. So Tuesday night, yesterday, I went out at like 2 p.m. because I had other stuff to do during the day. And then I Ubered until like 10. And the money was not what I thought it was going to be. So I got to just fucking, trial and error the shit out of this and figure out what I'm going to do until I will tell you the last guy of the night. The thing with Uber, man, you get told to go pick a guy up. So I was in Venice and I dropped somebody off and I go, fuck this, I'm going to go home. So I drove home because I didn't want to deal with traffic and I got home. And then when I got, off on Coldwater by my house, I go, well, I'll throw it on now. And if anybody needs a ride, I'll give them a ride by my house. So I started to drive and it pinged. And of course it was somebody 2 miles away from where I was. So I had to go and turn around and go grab them. And he comes out and gets in the car and you don't know where you're going with somebody on Uber until they get in the car. And then when they're in the car, you can push a button on the app and it tells you where you're heading. So it's last night, like 9:30. And like I said, I was heading home. I'd been driving since 2. And so I slid the thing over and it comes up on the map and I'm like, oh. And I looked at him and I go, dude, are you seriously going to Anaheim? Which is 55 miles from where he was. And he goes, yeah, I'm in an Airbnb down there. I'm at a security convention. I'm here visiting my sister. And I'm like, that's far too much information for me, motherfucker. All I wanted was yes. So I had to fucking Travis Uber queue this motherfucker down to Anaheim at 9:30. So I had to drive, 110 miles round trip. And that ride was like $53. But then Uber takes their cut and I get $8. That's a lie, but still. But yeah, man, so I had to go. I was, again, the 55 miles down there I get paid for, but then the 55 miles schlep back, that's just me driving, man. You don't get anything for it. So I'm learning about Uber. They're like, you go Google it, and there's all these people are like, oh my God, you can make so much money. I make fucking $1,000 a week or $2,000 a week. Well, yeah, but then you're driving your car into the fucking ground, just like I was doing when I was delivering fucking ribs. And you're paying for gas. And, I had to wash the car yesterday because people don't want to get in a dirty car. And you get these fucking, and it's all star-based, man. They got to vote for you. Stars, stars, stars. I have guys who get out of the car now and they go, hey, man, you'll give me 5 stars. I'll give you 5 stars. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, you got to really do some terrible shit to me to not get 5 stars. I mean, and if you watch Podfest, you'll hear about that when it's up for sale, or if you want to buy the live stream using the code BOY. But I've had a couple of crazy things happen. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not proud of being an Uber dude. It's not like I'm like, yay, this is awesome. But I will throw this out there for you right now, and this is going to be weird, but I don't give a fuck. I've had people contact me. Like I said, there was a guy named Dave. He thought about driving for Uber. People have contacted me to ask questions about it. Well, let me tell you something. If you're going to drive for Uber, contact me via email or Facebook. And I have a code that I can give you. And I get, I think I get like $200 if you drive 20 trips. It's California. It's all different everywhere else. I mean, I know someone in the Midwest who drives, and their offer was like $1,000, which is fucking insane. But here it's $200. So if you want to drive, here's the thing though, you have to contact me via Facebook or email, and then give me your phone number, and I will text you the code, or maybe I can just forward you an email that has my code in it, and then use my code when you sign up to Uber. And then I get credit if you drive 20 trips. This is total mercenary. Believe me, I never thought I would do this, but a listener suggested it to me. They said, hey man, you should give your code out on the air. And the thing is, the code is, well, fuck, should I give it out on the air? I mean, I guess maybe I should, right? It's just it's long though, that's the deal. But I'll fucking do it, why not? Hold on, what am I doing besides nothing? Let me pull up Uber on my texts. Uber, all right, earn more by referring friends. Where's my code? Where the fuck is my code? Hold on, I'm going to it now. Oh, don't make me log in. Fuck you. I'm not logging in. I'm going to my email because I know for sure I have it in an email somewhere. But yeah, you can just fucking write me a note or something. Here we go. Refer your friends to drive with Uber. So here's my code. If you want to drive for Uber, use this code. Where is it? Come in. It's downloading on my phone right now. Isn't this compelling entertainment? Isn't this great to have me stare at a fucking iPhone screen and hope that it comes through? Oh, wait, there's a little picture of the money. Where the fuck is my code, you cocksuckers? All right, here's my code. If you want to drive for Uber, this is my unique link that you can use. And if you do 20 trips, I get $200. It's get.uber.com/drive/invite_code DJZW 1YTTUE. You're not going to fucking write that down. Send me an email and I'll text it to you, or I'll fucking email it to you. But it's getuber.com/drive/invite_code David Joseph Zebra William 1 yellow true underwear elastic. I made all that shit up. I don't know. So go ahead and use that code and drive for Uber and do 20 trips and I get money and they'll all be happy, right? And should I kick you back some cash? I don't know. But I'm recommending it highly to a certain extent because, again, you make your own hours. You can drive whatever the fuck you want. I may turn this off and go Uber tonight. I have no clue, but I know I'm Ubering all day tomorrow, which is fucking Thursday. But at the same fucking time, it's not like I'm like, yay, I'm Ubering. I mean, I want to do other fucking things. You know that. Who the fuck? You don't want to hear me pour mouth the shit out of it. But if you want to use my code, go ahead. And if you want to write me on Facebook or write me an email, I'll forward it to you so you don't have to fucking write it down. And then it's easier to just click the link. That's probably best. Or I'll text you the code and then we'll all have each other's phone numbers and we'll have a big jerk off session. That'll be fantastic, won't it? I'm excited. So if you want that, go ahead and do that. But, But I'm fucking, that's all I'm doing is I'm psycho Ubering. That's it. I make my own hours. I figure I'll work 4 like 10 or 12 hour days and then take the other 3 days. But if I don't make enough money, then I can just get out there and fucking hump, right? And make the fucking cash. Because that's what I'm going to do. I was Travis Barbecue at fucking, like I said, I was just like Travis Bickle. I didn't fucking care. I would deliver food. But this is truly Travis Barbecue. This is truly Travis Bickle territory. This is fucking crazy army fatigue jacket and mohawk, because I can go out and make my own hours. I can drive at 3 in the fucking morning. I can drive at 4 in the fucking morning. I can pick up whoever, wherever. I mean, I've been to South Central already at 3:30 in the morning with a dude in the back of my car singing the Stylistics at the top of his fucking lungs and spraying Dorito fucking shrapnel all over the back of my seat. And that wasn't fun, but I didn't fucking care. And I wound up in South Central and the bars on the windows and looking around, and I'm just like, man, what the fuck happened to you? What the fuck happened to you? But I don't mind. I've had some crazy shit happen. I talked about it at Podfest. I'll probably talk about it as the weeks go on, but I'll tell you this story. Because I'm a true mercenary, man. I'm just fucking, I'm California Uber Alice. You know what? I'm California Uber Malice. California Uber Malice. California Uber Malice. Because I'm all over California and I'm filled with fucking malice as I Uber, but I'm nice to people. I still want those 5 stars. That's how I handle my business. But every once in a while, someone gets in the car and they're a fucking stroke. And I can't get mad. I can't do anything. Because you can't. What the fuck am I going to hit somebody? I mean, I can't do that anymore, and I don't want to. That's the reason I took this fucking job. If I wanted to hit people, I'd bounce. I don't want to fucking do that. But I got a note. You know, I got pinged the other day in Hollywood. So I go to pick these people up, and I park, and I'm where they say they're supposed to be. So they call me. They go, "We don't see you." I said, "I'm here." It's a woman, and she's like, "I don't see you." I said, "I'm here. I'm right by Mashty Malone's. It's a ice cream joint down on La Brea." She's like, "Yeah, we're right by this place. We don't see you." I go, "Well, I'm here." I mean, it tells me I've been dropped where you say. And I will tell you this. A bunch of people have Ubered me and they give me an address and they're not at that fucking address because they're drunk and they don't know where they are. They're 3 blocks away, or they're a block and a half away, or if one guy was a mile away and just put the wrong fucking address in. So I had to fucking go and find them. That's the deal. You have to go find them because you want to preserve your star rating. So this woman was like, "I don't even know where you are." And I said, "I'm here. I'm outside Mashty Malone's. There's a taco truck. It's a strip mall. I'm right here. I'm in a blue Chrysler with my flashers on." She goes, "Well, we don't see you and I don't even know what Mashty Malone's is." I go, "All right, well, where are you?" She goes, "Well, I'm in this parking." I go, "Fine, I'll find you." So I did a button hook and I kind of wheeled around to the other side of the street and I drove about a half block. And all I was doing was going farther away from them. Because, their little fucking icon, their little person, their little, I want to say didgeridoo, which is the dumbest thing in the fucking world. They're doppelganger. They're little guys on the phone. So I see myself driving away from them. So she calls me again. She goes, "Hey, you're driving away from us." I go, "I know. I was parked where you said you were, and you said you can't see me, so I'm trying to find you." I said, I was by Mashty Malone's. I'm by a Quality Inn. I'm right here on the street." She goes, "Well, we don't see you. We don't know where you are." I said, "I'm a blue fucking Chrysler with my flashers on." I didn't say that because you got to be nice. She goes, "Well, you come back the way you were." So I go back where I was and I park with my flashers on. She calls me a third time. She says, "Hey, I don't see you." I go, "Where are you?" She goes, "We're right across the street from the Quality Inn." I said, "So am I. I told you, I'm by Mashty Malone's in the Quality Inn." She goes, "Well, we don't see you." I'm not even fucking joking, all right? I pull into the strip mall where Mashty Malone's is, and there's 2 women standing there. Now, there was a taco truck in the strip mall, so you can't see me on the street. But if I tell you I'm at Mashty Malone's, she's literally standing in front of Mashty Malone's. Are you incurious to your surroundings? Turn the fuck around and see where you're at. Look at a sign. I had said earlier I was by the Quality Inn, and you're like, "Oh, we're right across the street from a Quality Inn." Motherfucker, I'm here. So I pull in. They just wanted me to find them and pull right the fuck up. Nobody wanted to walk a step. Nobody wanted to look there. I don't know if they were the Uber princesses. I got no fucking idea. So here's how I handle my Ubering. I drive, man. People get in the car and I go, "Hi, nice to see you." I said, "I'm happy to turn the radio up or turn the radio off or change the music. I can turn the air conditioning up, turn it off, or open the windows. Whatever you guys want. You're running the show here. You tell me." And they're like, "Oh, well, no, everything's fine." And I go, "Great. I'm a slave to the phone. I take the route that the phone tells me. If you've got a better route, feel free to tell me and I'm happy to drive it." And they go, "Great." And then I shut the fuck up. Not because I don't want to talk to anybody, but because I don't want to talk to anybody. Who the fuck? Because I've taken Ubers and there are guys who want to chat the fuck out of me. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally in the backseat with my phone. In the old days before a phone, maybe I'd care about you and your childhood in Damascus. But right now, I don't give a fuck, okay? I got a phone so I can lose myself in emails or whatever the fuck. Facebook, anything, Twitter, who cares? Photos, notes. I don't care. I would rather stare at the clock than listen to you fucking talk to me. So I don't bother anybody. If they want to talk to me, they can talk to me. That's fine. I got no problem with that. So I give them the choice, and I'll turn the music on. It's kind of halfway up. So these people get in the car, and it's two of them. It's two ladies. And there was one woman who was of normal size. And she was attractive. She gets in the back seat. And she's with, I can only assume it was the monster from underneath her bed. That's what I would describe this friend of hers as. It was truly something that she pulled out of a nightmare. I expected it to be dancing on the Where the Wild Things Are island. That's what she looked like. She was just a stomping beast. And she gets in, of course, for some bizarre reason, the front seat. I don't understand the front seat Uberer. I've had probably 10 of them, and they are all women, which I don't know if they're scared of being in the backseat or they just freak out, or I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to sit next to me. That makes zero sense to me, but I mean, if you make you feel safer, go ahead. And because I have a cooler in the front seat usually, so people will go for the front seat and I just throw the cooler in the back, which is fine. I've had guys sit in the front when I've picked up like 4 people because 3 are in the back and then a 4th, sits up front. Or if there's 3 dudes, if you have no choice. But usually it's a woman. So out of the 10 people, I've had like 8 women. 2 dudes who sat up front when it was a group. So this fucking bitter house sits in the front seat. She doesn't say a word. She's drunk. She's lit up. The girl in the back, not so much. So they get in and I punch in the address in the phone, and the girl in the back goes, okay, well, you need to drop me off first, then you need to take her and drop her at her place. I go, great. Do you want to give me 2 separate addresses? She goes, no. She goes, I'll tell you how to get where you're going now. And then the final address is in the phone. I said, great. I don't like doing that. I prefer to have both addresses because I don't want them to take me on some fucking wild goose chase. But again, I'm just learning how Uber works, and it works out fine. As long as I get everybody to where they're going to go and I end at the right destination, everything's okay. So I pull out of the parking lot and I give them the spiel about the air conditioning and the radio, whatever they want. They go, no, we're fine. I said, great. I apologize. The girl in the back said, no, we're fine. The front is busy mouth breathing. So I'm driving and I only have to take this woman like 2 miles. So I pull into traffic and the girl in the back seat says, hey, I got to ask you something. Do you have any meth? And I saw her in the rearview mirror and she's smiling. So clearly she's kidding. Now, again, like I said, I don't talk to anybody unless I'm spoken to, but I think we know me. And I think we know that I'm a decent guy and a charming guy, and I can be funny if I want to be. So I know she's trying to be funny. And I don't know if because again, I will meet people all the time who they don't know you or they don't know anything about you and they don't know what you got in the fucking ball. So they'll try to be like funny out of the box, or they'll try to be cute, or they'll try to top you. And then you can rampage them with funny. You can play along. You can do whatever you want. But if you're on that level, you can do it. I mean, I could choose to just go, no, I don't have any meth and pretend. But I'm me. Even though I'm driving Uber, I'm still fucking me. So she goes, hey, I have to ask, do you have any meth? And I went, oh, man. He said, the last guy took all of my meth. And she laughed. And I go, I do have gum. And she goes, no, I think I'll pass on the gum. I actually wanted meth. I said, well, again, I do apologize. It's late on a Saturday, so the last guy got all the meth. And I'm driving, and she says, that's the problem with Uber. Again, this is the girl in the back seat. The girl in the front seat still is just trying not to drool on herself and is mouth breathing and staring out the window. And you can just see she's pissed. I don't know why. I don't know. She's drunk and it's late Saturday. She's going home, whatever the fuck. She's just this huge fucking presence. She's just looming. She can't believe that she isn't at home with fucking Princess Leia on a chain in a slave bikini. That's what's wrong with this fucking chick. She's so upset that she's not in a fancy restaurant in France being offered one last mint that is wafer thin. She is so upset. And she is just taking up all the fucking room and sucking all the oxygen out of the car. But, her friend is still trying to be personable. So her friend says to me, that's the problem with Uber these days. There's just no meth anymore when you talk to the guys. And I just went, all right, hold on a second. Are you telling me there was a preponderance of meth in the old days of Uber, and you're actually wistful for the old days of Uber when you could just get meth at the drop of a hat? And she laughs, and I kind of laugh. We're having fun. And her friend goes, oh my God, which are you? And I was shocked to see her bellow this out of her incredibly immense person. Just this deep, fucking raspy, horrible, drunken voice filled with bitterness. And she goes, oh my God, which are you? And I said, pardon me? She goes, a comedian or an actor? Because you are trying really fucking hard. And I said, I'm just talking to your friend. And, she started talking to me first. And I wanted to eviscerate this chick. I wanted to just let her fucking have it. But I was like, you know what? What's the point? What is the fucking point? And I just said, I'm just talking to your friend. She actually talked to me. And then there was a beat, and I said, and honestly, I really don't care for your attitude. And I just shut up and I turned the radio up. And her friend laughed at that. And she was just like, well, you just got to shut up when you're driving. Maybe people don't want to talk to you. And I said, your friend talked to me. And I kept staring at the windshield. And her friend in the backseat just goes, oh, she's just giving you shit. You got to learn to take that. I said, actually, no, I don't. She goes, well, if you're going to drive Uber, you're going to have to learn to take shit from people. And I said, yeah, that's not true. I said, most everybody's been nice up to this point. And I shut up. And I drove. And I dropped the woman in the back seat, the little smart ass. I dropped her off first. Then it's just me in the car with evil. It's just me and this monolith. It's just me and this pile of bitterness. And I wanted her to get out of the car and get in the back seat or pass out or fucking anything. I just wanted her to shut the fuck up and leave me alone. And her friend gets out and she hugs her like over the back seat and she leaves. And then I look at the address on the phone and I hit the navigation and I drive quietly. And unbelievably, she does a 180. Like when her friend is gone, she's just like, all right, sir, well, if you could take me to this address, if you could go here and go there. And she was pleasant and nice. And I didn't understand why the fuck she did that. I don't know if she was just like jealous that her friend was talking to me. I couldn't fucking figure it out. I don't know if she just felt like she didn't have the personality to compete with her friend. Or I get no fucking clue. All I know is she ruined me that night. Because look, man, I don't want to fucking do this anyway. All right, it's not my gig. It's not what I want to do. It's not my life's work. And also that thing where she hits you blow with that, what are you, a comedian or an actor? Yeah, I'm both, motherfucker. But right now I'm not. I'm just talking to your fucking friend. And that used to happen to me all the time. I told you when I would have other gigs and people would be like, oh my God, what are you, a comedian? And someone else would go, yeah, he is. And they go, oh, well, don't quit your day job. And I was like, fuck you, man. You have no clue. You got no fucking idea. So that just hit me right where I lived. What are you? Which one are you? Because you're trying really fucking hard. No, I'm not. I'm being me. Just because if you put this level of personality into a sentence, that would be trying hard. This is who I am fucking effortlessly. So you got no reason to climb down my fucking throat. And believe me, there's not any room for you. So fucking don't try it again. But she was real pleasant and nice and I dropped her off at her house. But man, she fucking ruined me for that. I went home. I fucking went home. It was midnight on a Saturday night and I could have gone back out and I did eventually. I went out at like 1:45 to go drive at closing time. But I had to tuck and take a knee. I had to take a knee for 2 hours because I went, you know what, man? I'm not trying hard. I am a comedian. I am like this weird thing where I let it get into my fucking head and I'm not supposed to. I'm not supposed to care what fucking people think. But God damn it. Who the fuck do you think you are coming on like a stiff prick in my goddamn car? And that's why I'm saying it's just fucking California uber malice. No, but you know what? One of these days you'll hear a fucking story and it'll just be like this mass murdering rampage where they're finding bodies all over California. I probably shouldn't say this on the air. This is probably a bad idea because somehow someone's going to misinterpret it. And then there's going to be some sort of uber murders and they're going to fucking track me down and go, hey man, and they play this recording for me. And I'm going to go, you know what? Here's why I'm not the uber murderer. Because that would be trying really fucking hard. And I guarantee you, I am not trying really fucking hard at Uber. That's not happening. I mean, I'm out here, I'm doing what I can to make as much fucking money as I possibly can and schlep these people to their goddamn houses. But believe me, the last fucking thing in the world I am ever going to try hard at is Uber. I don't want to be good at it. I just want to do it so I don't have to fucking die. And I can just live the life that I'm supposed to live the life that I want to live the life that I'm supposed to live.
Max always says people skip the closing music. I say people love your closing music, so let's prove it to them. If you've listened this far, write me at heymexilistened@gmail.com and we'll send you a 40-year-old boy hearing commemorative Facebook profile picture that you better fucking put up, you dick.
Sorry about the dick thing. Thing. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
I don't want you to miss any of that brilliance.